It is 9 o'clock and call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, we knock down the speaker level. Okay.
To the regular March 5th Commissioners meeting. Any additions to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, on the consent agenda, I have your item 3 commissioner forms. I have add-on warrants of $704.29. And then on the hospital warrants, there's a per diem error on that. I'll deal with that with Carla. That will reduce it by $125. So that will be a change of minus 125 on that one. And at 10:50, please add Bill Folger. He's going to come down or come over and request a server purchase. I did put the information in your boxes, so you should all have that in front of you. And then there will be no personnel item this morning. Charlotte is out today. She's out for one of being held. So,
What was the add-on wrong again? 704.
704 and 29 cents. 704.29. Okay. And with that, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
Proposed amendment. Vote to move the agenda.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Consent agenda, we have the minutes from our 226 meeting, auditors warrants from 227 and 36. Commissioner warrants $137,177.85, and add-ons of $704.29. And hospital warrants of $264,370.85. Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Yeah.
Morning. All right.
Maybe some project updates. First update I have is page 2, 2025 box color contract number 4. That's a carryover project into this year. And we received word that the contractor hopes to do some of the work this spring before the shutdown restrictions. Next update would be last page then. The County Road 25 project, Ward Township Bridge project in 2026 box culvert contract number 1 with all that bid openings on 2. Next up for me then would be a request to approve a right-of-way payment for a box culvert project. Second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Right, next for me would be request approval to award our 2026 maintenance striping to Sturd Lines a lot, cost of $42,450.81. We requested bids from 7 different contractors, but only received 2, and this Sturd Lines a lot has been buying up a lot of competitions. So we're down to.
They've historically been the lower bidder too, since like 5 times.
Yes, but the bid prices have gone up a lot since they've been buying up the competition, so not surprised. But yes, they've been low bid for quite some time too.
Mr. Chair, motion to approve the sewer lines left.
I'll support that. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Right, next up for me would be some maintenance updates. We plowed and sanded a few times. We got a free pile of millings from the state. We sorted some bigger chunks out of that's on my island. Been working on pups. And, put up road posting signs. Those went on. If you go today, I think it was. And then, been doing a lot of road blading, so. Other than that, that's all I have. Any questions for me?
I got one question, Nick, and then forgive me if I missed something. March 18th, there's a Wednesday. Yeah, that bid opening or the electronic.
The electronic bid opening, yeah, what is your due
time now?
bids are due then on March 18th at 10:30, I think it is, and then I'll bring the results to the meeting.
I was just confused that it wasn't meeting day, I didn't realize it
Yep.
was electronic.
Yep.
So I said,
Yep, that's what that is. No, you're right to notice that. So it's been on Tuesday in the past, but now we try to do it on Wednesday or Thursday so I can get it in the packet.
for the following meeting.
Yeah.
I see,
And then
because there's another step now, whereas before, you actually one of the year was different, so I understand.
right. And now we'll have Domain review them. So when I come Tuesday, I can say it's been reviewed by us and an attorney and we're ready to go for it. So.
Takes the fun out of bid opening for me.
Well, it makes it easier for me.
As long as it's easy, I'll do it.
I'm sure that we have signatures everywhere, so yeah. It's a lot easier to review when you have a little bit of time. All right. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave. We have David Rose from U.S. Fish and Wildlife.
Morning, everybody. I appreciate the time today. Named Jacob Gross. I'm a Real Specialist Fish and Wildlife Service. With me today is Todd Hauge, the Assistant Manager at the Wind and Wetland Management District. And Rick Reese, landowner with the easement we're discussing today. So this winter, I emailed Mr. Ewing a letter requesting to present this easement. Along with the letter, I sent some information in the form of a map, plat page, aerial photo of the proposed easement boundary. Everybody have time to read those and go through over there. Looking at. So these projects, these easements are funded through Migratory Bird Conservation Stamp Act, also known as Duck Stamp, and not tax dollars. This easement is with the Rocky Ridge Farm LLP and is approximately 218 acres located in section 2 of the Rock Township. The property will remain in private ownership and the landowners will continue to pay property taxes and control noxious weeds. Habitat restorations, including wetland restorations and invasive tree removal, will not negatively impact neighboring drainage systems or boundaries. The portion of the property with the habitat easement is an independent grassland cover and includes some undisturbed native prairie, which is a pretty neat component of the property. So why are we here? In accordance with the 1962 procedural agreement between the Minnesota DNR and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, we are here to inform the Board of Commissioners of the proposed habitat easement. Once the county board has been notified, each certified U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service acquisition is then presented to the Minnesota Land Exchange Board for final approval. So today we're here to notify the county of the easement and are requesting a vote be made by the commissioners to certify the habitat easement. Again, thank you for your time and for your field any questions you may have about restorations or anything with pertaining to the easement.
Does this lead to any like public access or anything like that, or?
It will not, it will stay in private ownership, so there will be no public access unless the leases, I know they have walk-in access currently, so. It is open to the public as of now through the walk-in program, so, but no, if they decided to not continue with walk-in program, it would not allow for public use.
Sure. Is this pretty large body of water here in it, on the south end?
On the south end, yes, sir.
Yeah,
That
is
is,
that where, yeah, is that where that's been over the road?
Yeah.
I just trying to picture it, so.
and that is actually a waterfall management area owned by the DNR.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the same spot where the road got built up?
Yes.
86.
Yep, the north of that, that east half, that section, straight from that location.
Sure.
Yeah.
So with this remaining private ownership, why does he have to come from the board, got authority over private property?
Sure, so basically we have to notify the counties and we're here to certify the notification. It's when the duck stamp dollars became available for use in the sixties. Each state had to determine their kind of rules on how that notification was sent to local authorities. And so Minnesota decided that the Fish and Wildlife Service had to present to the county commissioners just to notify, so that's why we're here today.
So you're certifying that you presented it?
That is exactly right. Yes.
We've got no governance over it, it's just strictly a notification that you're required to do.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Which there's nothing we have to vote on either now.
Other than the
Authorize.
certify that they gave.
That's exactly right. It's an odd request, but yeah, that's.
We've done this before in previous years.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I'll make a motion to certify. Okay, I'll second that.
To certify or to acknowledge that.
Certify. It's just to certify that they told us what's going on. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, may I have your time?
Sure.
Think we need more than one?
I need just this one, and then would you like me to send you a copy?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Where,
Grab Bill.
yeah, thanks for coming.
Yep, thank you. Yours is on the right.
Yeah.
I forget people actually listen to it all the time. Yep, fine.
What do you think? You have a little one. Morning.
Good morning.
This morning I have a request for another server for VM host in the other room. This one's quite a bit smaller than the last one I brought you. It serves a similar function. RAM is our issue right now. So looking at what we want to do, we're going to split the RAM in the box that we bought, the big one. And we're gonna populate this one with half of that RAM that's in the first one. And that'll buy us some time, hopefully until well, the prices go down with which I'm hoping. That's just where we are right now with the way hardware is.
Maybe you want to explain the price and.
Oh, the price difference, sure. So there's a little bit of a price difference, and I have very difficulty finding apples with any of this stuff right now. The eBay quote is the closest I can find to what we want. The difference in price is there's two fans, the main fans. There's two different types that are made for this model. The one from eBay does not have that, and that's about a $1,200 fan to swap them out. There's a little bit of difference in the warranty too. The one on eBay will get whatever the warranty is left on there, and the electric is through 27. Where the other one we can extend for the full amount of time that we will have this in service. So looking at it that way, the more quoted, better quote to go with a little more money. That
I'm
makes sense.
still trying to wrap my head around a $1,200 fan.
Yeah,
That's small enough to fit in.
you'd be amazed at
A good fan.
that. Yeah. If it's the amount of air that they want.
You have to run past it, they did whatever.
Yeah, you know, and maybe they make it so one is quieter than the other, one, you know. I'm sure they bill it as efficiency and pay more green than the other one, but that's what we got. We just need the one that moves the most air.
And I know from my PC at work, it makes no noise, they run 24/7.
Any other question?
It's nice to see the easy install kit on the bottom.
Yeah.
Easy for who?
Yeah.
Not for me.
I'll make a motion and build recommendation. It's more electronic 13/461/10.
Support of it.
Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're on. Your ESP around?
That's. Yeah.
Purchase. We could have one. That's not that sensitive.
True.
I'm gonna head up to Steve, I could. Knock on the door, see if he's around.
42 calls. The crowd still can squeeze that.
Hey, Keith, Steve, we're running ahead. You guys want to go down and do your best purchase? Sure, that work? Oh, okay, sounds good. We'll see you in a minute. Bye. It'll be right now.
While they're coming, you want to do the house purchase?
Sure. House purchase, the board has discussed this at our PCMC meeting and has come to our board here as the official organization to take action on this. So it'll be the purchase agreement of a house at 714 4th Avenue, Southwest in Pipestone, Minnesota, for a cost of $167,900. And a copy of the purchase agreement in front of you. Lay down disclosure document is presented as well, along with the lead paint addendum is included as well. Recommendation board to approve that. Going to the hospital, we already come to the county board here.
I'll make a motion to purchase. Property.
I'll second.
Moving second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Morning again.
Morning.
We have 6 people that their vets are expired. I don't know how they expire, but they do. So we got this is a state or federal bid, Steve. What was I know it's a
State bid.
state bid. So
State bid.
we got 6 of them. That's the best. It is the plate and the carrier, and see they're not cheap, but they're 12,000 for 6, so about 2,000 a piece. We do get some of that reimbursed. I can't say how much and when because it's the state and federal and how that goes, but we always do get some back. Most to be all of us have been down for it. We get some of it paid back.
How many years do they go keep?
5 years.
5 years.
I would assume it almost had to be properly pulled up and documented.
No, they're ours.
Okay.
I don't know. Yes, I'm sure we do it, but yeah, they're ours.
But if they're expired, how do you, they don't get put back in use?
We don't give them away or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. in one of our sheds or something, or thermal or something. Yeah, I don't know how they expire, but I suppose 5, 6 years of in and out of the car, cold, hot, it's also better safe than sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Is this, are these funds in this budget, 26 budget, or?
I'm sure it's in their miscellaneous or something, I mean, it's not specifically, because we do get most of the money back.
Yeah, something's coming back.
Yes. But the equivalents, yeah, it's just equivalent. Yeah, it's equivalent.
Michelle, that we approve the purchase of that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you. Kyle.
Morning.
Morning.
I didn't know this wasn't time sensitive.
It's not.
Okay.
No, this is just a annual procedure. Yep. So today I've got, 2 things. I've got our feedlot work plan for 26 to 27, and then our 2025 feedlot annual report. The MPCA wants the county board to basically just acknowledge the work plan, of what things we will be doing. Probably the most interesting thing is on page 19. Pipestone County has 414 feedlots that are eligible for funding. That's how we get our base funding, is based on the number of feedlots we have. For a total award of $50,843. So that's what we get annually from the state to be a delegated county to administer the feedlot program. And then the work plan basically just lays out procedural processes that we will do, that will inspect 7% of sites, which is 39, and keep records of all these different things. So any questions on the work plan? Like I said, the board doesn't need to take action on it, but they just want you to acknowledge it, or you can, if you want to move, I guess you can, but we don't have to have anything signed. And then our 25 feedlot report, again, it shows the number of feedlots. It shows that we did 30 inspections, and then we get points doing different things. And then we do get a little additional dollars for performance credits. That varies based on the number of credits that are given out statewide. So I don't know what that number will be yet, but it's usually a few thousand, 3 to 5, somewhere in there. So, but they did come recently. They were coming here about last week or the week before, did a review of our files, and everything was okay. So
The feedlots fail.
we have some out there that have issues. It's not necessarily that they're failing, it's the rules require them to address runoff concerns. So we try to work with the producers that might have a runoff issue, try to get them signed up for either the federal dollars or work locally and try to address the issues the best we can. So we're not intending to go out and shut anybody down, but our goal is to work towards everybody being compliant. We know that there's a few sites out there that it's very difficult to address the runoff issues. So
Just from my observation, it's better than 10 years ago.
definitely, yes, yes. Yeah, the old
Appreciate your work on that.
the old style hog barns, and some of those just kind of went away themselves, but I think overall producers are doing a pretty good job. And same way with manure application. The producers don't have the records they necessarily need, but a lot of guys, the cow gap guys, their manure doesn't have the value to justify the time and effort. And most people have a process where they cut silage, they spread the manure, so they're putting the manure back where it needs to be, but the rules require that they have records, how many tons they put down, what the tests were, things like that they don't always have. So our stance has always been is we just try to explain to them what the rules require, tell them what they need to do, and move to the next site.
Yeah, you do need,
We need action on the report, for the board chairman to sign it, yes.
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve and acknowledge. Support.
second, any discussion? Overall, looks pretty good.
I think so, yeah.
Somewhat interesting, you talk about how the algae farm for 2 years. Is it the same as when you started? So many changes in the industry.
Some of it was economic changes, and some of it was the
Stewardship.
ones that were not good stewards are out of that business right now.
Yeah.
Any discussion, questions? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. We do a shotgun thing?
Second page.
And just as a reminder, if we take no action, the rifle will be allowed. We have to take that from the restricted. I guess we were all at public hearings, 90% of the people were in favor of rifle. Any wishes?
I would appreciate if we take a vote.
Okay, just to
So that everybody
put it
knows.
in. So do we have a motion then?
I'll make a motion to follow the state's recommendation for rifles and 10 shotguns.
I will second that.
Any discussion?
I make that motion hesitantly, but it's will the people. Right, I think it's gonna change now for the next. Party hunting is gonna disappear. And somebody explained to me very vividly how other states don't let you party hunt ever. If you go to South Dakota with a rifle permit, you don't get to party, shoot somebody else's deer. That's the way people hunt is gonna change. I don't know if it's gonna be for the better or not, but it's gonna change. And it doesn't prohibit you use of shotguns, so if you're committed, fully committed to a party hunt, when you've got land that's designated, it's your land or whatever, you can certainly party hunt with that.
And of course, for any landowner, they can determine for themselves who to allow or what weapons to allow on their own property.
Yeah, that's, you're allowed to, but it's practically impossible.
Okay.
Unless you stand there all day for 2 weeks.
Right,
But trespass laws would.
It's impossible to enforce them too.
and I know even if you have it posted, obviously not everyone pays attention.
Everyone can read, it seems like.
Sadly, that's,
It is.
I thought as well too, it's how it's important that we try to stay somewhat similar to our neighbors. Trying to enforce this at one county to another county, very, very difficult, especially with the boundaries, the hunting boundaries don't line up county lines, so forth.
Right.
So. I also think that this is the right decision. I really appreciate the turnout we had from the citizens and the input we had, and everybody did their homework on this.
Hunters are gonna have to know their county lines. In addition to the boundaries for the zones, so.
Mr. Chair, I can't remember if it was Dallas or Dan, who mentioned it at the hearing, but, even if you are in favor of shotgun only, you're still right. I mean, your concerns are still legitimate.
Yep.
It's, no matter which way you lean, you're still right.
Right.
That's what they're gonna do. So, and
I would just hope that anyone hunting is cautious and, knows what they're shooting at, and what's behind what they're shooting at.
And for having studied the history of it was in the late 40s when they instituted shotgun. And it sounds like it wasn't for safety, it was for herd control. And we've there's so much information on this, so. Again, it's imperative that, especially our youth, go through the correct hunter safety training course, that they know their target, they know what's downrange from them, and how to respond to it, so that's. And again, I'm real proud of the youth organizations we have here in the county, trying to continue to instill that, ethic, stewardship, and the safety part of it.
I don't know what the other commissioners, but I've got more feedback on this issue than anything the last 5 years. I have one call. Oh, you don't have one. You've got them under control, it's just.
I've heard, 3 more people that were told me that they wanted shotgun only too, so after that meeting, there was a few more people that spoke up. But overwhelmingly, it's been that.
Sure. I just want to be clear that there's a motion to vote on this, but it's already right. So why are we voting?
To go on the public record.
That's what people know that it's been made, but a decision has been made by the state,
Yes,
right?
so would it be more correct, Allison, going for words come out, would it be more correct that the motion say that we do not take any action? So would that be a better way of stating it that way? Or the state,
I feel like the state made the decision.
that the state made a decision, and we're not anybody trying to supersede that.
You wanna read what you got for a motion, Steve?
I just put on there that the motion is to follow the state law for rifle and shotgun hunting.
You know, that's appropriate. It makes it.
Yeah,
That's
when
what
you put it that way, yeah.
Okay, but
That's what I put it in exactly like
Yeah.
that. That's really what your motion is, so
Okay,
that should be
you're okay with that?
I'm okay with
that's fine. Okay. Any other comments or questions? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any reports from those in the ground? No, okay. February. On the 10th, the regular board meeting and PCMC executive committee meeting, which in daily 12. Soil and water. 18, health and human services, commercial. 24th regular board meeting and a road and bridge committee meeting. That was the. Yeah, then that was during, right, when you public meeting that same day and the ETMC regular board. And then the 25th, the road bridge annual meeting.
Although February on the 2nd, that had the Jared Hansner's family partnership, your annual meeting. Rick Anderson from Light Company was like the chair. Doing that. Otherwise, nothing else really to report on that. We're very good for Pipestone County. On the 12th, I had SRDC in Slayton. We did get a notification that our newly elected that Scott Blunt from Townships. Yeah, he was appointed there. He was going through his orientation process, and this Thursday he'll start being the voter on regular board.
Sure.
Other than that, there's really nothing SRDC related. On the 23rd at a CPT executive board meeting, we went over, they had a building renewal submission done, and there was one bid that came in lower than what the authorized amount was for the full board. So since now they own the full building, the whole thing's gonna be remodeled, create up to I think 8 more workstations for them. So I think we're gonna have more to grow them too. So and then the 24th is a busy day at the county board here, hospital board, with the fair board, and then we have the deer company hearing that night. Then on the 25th, the road bridge.
Oh,
February 10 regular meeting for the Glen and Plum Creek Library Association. We had an elected officer, I'm now the vice chair. Chair next year. Thank you. That's pretty good. It's rewarding. People who appreciate the libraries. February 24th, the regular meeting. Hospital board, fair board, private chapter meeting. And 25th was Lord Bridge. And that was my one. My people went to the library and they found a reading. You know what the scary part is? What's the average number of books people read after high school? For their lifetime.
It's probably not the Bible.
Well, some of it's about,
Some of them maybe is, but not.
and hopefully they're gonna get a lot.
Right.
So no one counts as one of them.
Right.
Month of February for myself, on the 4th, I attended the the radio board here, meeting up in Marshall for Doug. That election of officers, they maintained the same executives they had before, decided not to change their dues, just the same, so no changes there at all. Then on the 11th, well, then on the 5th, Prime West, no big news from that one. But the Prime West meeting I had just the other day, there are a few changes coming there. One of our concerns, of course, is the cutbacks in federal funding for Medicare, Medicaid. We don't know just how that's going to impact us yet at this point. One thing we do know is going to impact us, though, is that the state decided to carve out the non-emergency medical transportation that we administer ourselves. The state that administer that now. As you recall, we were the first ones to point out fraud a couple years ago on that, because we saw that we had billings for transportation and it didn't match up with patients actually going. And this probably the most prevalent is in the methadone clinics, because there's it has to be every day and they have to travel up to the minor or the arrowhead area for that. But in any case, with all the concern with fraud, the state decided to take it over themselves. Part of our settlement with the company that was perpetrating this false fraud, because they got to pay us back the money they legitimately took from one of the assets they had was a software system. So we're still in the legal process of obtaining that software program. So my question was, if we're not doing transit, is there any value to that? And Jim Criswell said, our administrator or CEO said that there still is, because that could be used for scheduling and some other things as well too. So that'll be one of the changes in Prime West. Also, I mentioned that we did an authorized expenditure for a new phone system. Phone systems are terribly expensive. I think it's $83,000 a year difference in the phone system up and the support that goes with it. So that was Prime West. Then on the 9th, we had Plant Hospital. We talked about that. February 10th. Had quality control for Prime West, the quality control, and that was via Zoom. On the 11th, I had my Veterans Memorial meeting, as you see, we're making progress on that. The stones have been ordered. And you see it when we talked about before, the site's got the concrete before things rolls out. So looking to make some substantial advances in that in this next season. So come along quite nicely. We had our Casey Jones meeting on the 12th. They're planning on having a fundraising ball gala at Hadley coming up in April. On the 11th of April, Saturday at Hadley. Apparently there's a big band group out of Fulton that's going to be entertaining. Have you heard of it? I've heard of it before.
I know who's in it though, I'm sure.
Yep. Then on the 13th, I had Southwest 18 Mental Health Consortium up in Marshall. Nothing specific to report from there. I mean, other than the unknown of where we're at with funding through the feds like everything else. Get back to here. So then on the 23rd, I had our student meeting on Worthington. Nobles County Library had been renting space from us, from Smock, while they did their modeling. Their modeling's down there moved out, we're back in, and also changed the other offices around. We got a building on 10th Street, Worthington, now that is surplus, so we're in the process of going ahead and disposing of that. On the 18th, at Southwest Health Human Services in Marshall. On the 25th, we had a road bridge meeting and helping their hunting. That concludes my report.
The second, Minnesota Rural Counties, we heard from Representative Mary Franson. And then Britta announced her father, Paul Torkelson, is retiring from the legislature. He's the second longest serving representative in the House right now. Excuse me, on the fifth, at Harry Tudor, our CRCA officers were reelected, still chair. Bill X being replaced, retiring, clerk wouldn't be their vice chair. Otherwise, just routine annual issues and policy changes regarding pay were addressed. On the 9th, at plant ops, and then the one watershed, one plan for the Missouri River. We approved the 5-year midpoint evaluation of the comprehensive water management plan. The 2022 grant is all complete. The 2024 grant is all encumbered, and they're expecting the 26th grant soon at $2.1 million. On the 10th, they have the executive meeting at the hospital. On the 12th and 13th, held names and futures. We heard that 72 of 87 sheriffs in the state of Minnesota voted no confidence in the Department of Corrections due to increasing the frustrating policies regarding the jail rules. The jail rule, they're called 2911 rules, are being updated. It's currently 135 pages, and I think their updated draft is like more than 400 pages or something. They have a lot of issues with inspectors turning over. One county mentioned, like in the last 4 years, they had 5 different inspectors. Everyone interpreted the rules differently, so you never know where you stand because everyone has a different version of how it goes. And it seems to be an adversarial relationship with DOC rather than partnering. I mean, instead of having rules or standards or accreditation, it's more they want to just enforce and penalize and make it difficult. Apparently, there's going to be the draft rule should be coming out fairly soon, and there'll be a 30-day comment period and tentative legislative hearing on May 11th that people should provide comments for. It sounds like that they'll want to have some input on these, more burdensome rules. We also heard from the Deed Commissioner, Matt Verlick, who was talking about the paid leave and program and how it's being used or whatever. And the state plan covers 75% of the people in the state. And just from that 75%, they were 20% over their estimates for usage. And that doesn't include the 25% that are with the private carrier like we are. Of course, he claimed the numbers would climb, but question whether that would happen or not. But anyway, that's where they were at now. And then it was also brought up about Hennepin County Medical Center is in danger of closing because in such a dire financial situation. They recently closed 100 beds just because you can't make up for a loss of volume. So they're trying to do what they can to get by. But they are proposing to extend the Twin Stadium sales tax to provide a source of revenue and shore things up. Currently, it's a 0.15% tax just in Hennepin County, which they use to pay off the bonds for the Twin Stadium, but they want to increase it to a 1% sales tax. Once again, just in Hennepin County. That they would use the funds both for some stadium upgrades, which apparently Hennepin County owns the stadium. And then the bulk of the money would go to Hennepin County Medical Center to keep them afloat. And considering that, I mean, it really is a statewide resource since there's a state burn center, poison control center. You know, half the doctors trained in Minnesota, trained at that hospital. I think 30 or 40% of their business is from upstate. You know, it's the biggest hospital in the city. You don't want to close down. If they did, it would be the other closures because no other hospital could take that volume in addition to what they're already doing. On the 18th, at the Highway 23 Coalition, we scheduled our annual meeting for April 10th in Mora, and Representative Pete Stauber will be speaking, and they're also trying to line up Tom Emmer and Amy Klobuchar and all of the congressional and governor candidates and incumbents that have been invited. They also had a meeting on behalf of MRC with Board of Water and Soil Resources regarding local road wetland replacement credits. Of course, this is a state mandated program that they're supposed to fund. They've never adequately funded. Last year, I think they got $5 million in bonding, which they were able to purchase 94 credits, but when you're creating your own credits, it takes years to develop them, so they're not available right away. They also got $3 million in cash, which they bought 53.7 credits. Those at least are available right away. But the average annual demand for Minnesota is 182 credits. So you know, it doesn't go very far, and a lot of the bank service areas have 0 credits, like our area. Their request for 26 for the legislature was 18.5 million in bonding and 16.5 million in general fund cash. And I think the governor's budget has like a request for 5 million. So big difference. On the 24th, had a regular meeting, road and bridge committee meeting, a hospital meeting, and then public hearing for deer hunting on the 25th, the annual road and bridge hearing. And on the 26th, at a prime health meeting, officers were reelected, except Mark Larson replaced Larry Linder as secretary. And still the vice chair, and they're trying to develop a small employee pooling strategy to be brought to our next meeting, and last year finished well, so they're in a pretty good financial position. That's all I have. That is Lou here. Here, come on up.
Good morning. Good thing we were here a little bit earlier. You're too efficient for your agenda today. I'm Drew Christensen. I'm with Apex Clean Energy, which is a utility scale energy developer headquartered in Charlottesville, Virginia. And then we have a regional office in the Twin Cities, which is where I'm based out of. And this is I'm Senior Director of Public Engagement at the company and for the project that we're going to be talking to you about today, which is called Boxcar Wind. And Garrett Valverde, my colleague, is based out of Lawrence, Kansas, and is the lead developer on Boxcar Wind, which is a utility scale wind farm that has been actually under development for several years, primarily in Lyon and Murray counties. And we thought that was, kind of our anticipation. Originally, it was all going to be in Lyon County, and then it started to go down into Murray County. And at this point, we're kind of in the closing phases of developing the project, but we do now have a few leases in far eastern, northeastern Pipestone County. And we are delayed in that case in coming and meeting with you and talking to you a little bit about the project. So Boxcar Wind will be built in a couple of phases. It'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,000 megawatts between the 2 phases. And from a geographic standpoint, roughly stretches from Russell in the north to Slayton in the south, and just east of Garvin over to about Ruthven in Pipestone County.
So it's a pretty significant project, but one that will not have very many facilities in Pipestone County itself. But we did want to, come here and obviously introduce ourselves, given that we are going to now be proposing some facilities in Pipestone County and answering questions about the project. I know you're all very familiar with wind energy in general, and so I might have questions for you. But Garrett, anything to add about the project before we kind of open up for some questions?
No, I think you covered it well. We're just excited to be here and to introduce Boxcar.
How many sites are in Pipestone County?
So we're still developing the final layout. We would anticipate it to be somewhere between 8 to 15 turbines that there could be enough room for in Pipestone County, and that's out of a total number of turbines that would be somewhere a little north of 200 on the entire project.
What size and brand of turbine?
Eric, I'll sure for that to you.
Right now, the brand is the GE, and we're looking at a couple of different capacities, between 3.8 and 4.2.
That's how I know we're in Pipestone County, because no other commissioners asked us which brand we're putting up.
How big are those towers?
Well, see, I always have to convert from meters to feet, but the tip height would be approximately right at 600 feet, I believe. Shouldn't be any higher than that by much.
Which, as you're all probably familiar with, is which Garrett said, it's the tip height, not the hub height.
So the nacelle would be around about the 100-meter mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still pretty big.
Do you have a buyer for power?
So the kind of case for this project is the new XL line that they're building from Becker down to Garvin. So that is Xcel's intent, and they're going to build a gas facility as well at the termination of that line near Garvin, and that will be the ultimate destination for the power is onto that transmission line to bring it to Becker and then into the broader system. One thing that I think would be of note to Pipestone County in particular is we would expect that there would be less curtailment as part of this project. Pipestone County, I'm sure, as well as other counties, has seen some inconsistencies in their tax revenue from these projects based on curtailment. And just too much power that the lines can't take. This is a new transmission line that is being purpose built for wind, and then gas as a backup when the wind isn't blowing, which as we all know isn't very often in Southwest Minnesota. So we would anticipate much more consistent, much less curtailment on this project than on some of the existing projects.
We wish that would extend with the other projects throughout the county.
Yeah, it's the grid it's all interconnected, right? So it's more capacity is better across the board. But yeah, it's certainly been a frustration, and it's a frustration from speaking as the public engagement guy from a PR standpoint. People drive by on the windiest days and see these wind turbines not spinning. They're like, "What the heck are these things all broken?" It's like, well, no, there's just no room on the there's just no room on the lines.
It's my understanding we could double the production we have if there weren't curtailment.
I can't argue with the number. I mean, it certainly would be significant. I mean, there's a lot of generations.
I'll be doing the math in my head. So you talked look at total megawatts in Pipestone County. You think the whole project's could be 1,000. And you're talking about possibly 10 machines. Pipestone County, the biggest one being 4.5. So we're looking somewhere between 30 and 40 megawatts. You think something in that area?
Probably is 4.5 megawatts, right? Is a machine
I would just go with 4. Between 3.8 and 4.2 is 4. So yeah, I think 40 is a good estimate as far as megawatts.
That'd be nice. because we haven't had any increase in our production tax rate for a while, so that's gonna be nice.
And going the other way.
Yeah, it is. And to know that you're not, so saying curtail, so what's that, so that's good. So, your maintenance facility is gonna be in what?
So our maintenance facility has not been 100% pinned down, but it's looking like Lyon County. So it'd be more central to the project.
Lay down yard be there too.
Again, those aren't finalized, but there'll probably be a few lay down yards given the scale of the project and unlikely to be in Pipestone, I'd say.
We would anticipate, pretty, just relative to other projects, a pretty small degree of disruption in Pipestone County, because it is. Hey, it might even, our leases might even all be in the far, eastern tier of sections in that, so, in all of the other construction, it's gonna kind of be coming in from the east, so we wouldn't anticipate, there will be some usage of roads, obviously, we'll have conversation about that, just to probably a much smaller degree than in past projects, because it'll be coming in from a lot of the other counties.
In fact, I see our highway engineers here, so if you haven't had a chance to meet with Nick, we touch base with them yet, now exchange information, so.
Yeah, that's right.
Any other questions or comments?
So you're primarily looking at Neff Township.
I believe exclusively is there.
Yeah, I believe that. No, I think you're right. I think that's the only township where. Yeah.
Well, this is good news, I appreciate the developments.
We're very happy to be here, and we're excited to be in Pipestone County. Excited to be bringing this project. It's easy conversations here, and fun conversations in Lyon County and some of these other townships that haven't had any wind development, and it's pretty windy there too, and there hasn't been any transmission. So it's an exciting time for Southwest Minnesota.
Looking forward to a long relationship.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Any for us today?
No, I just hear listen to them.
Oh, okay.
Next meeting on the 24th. In the hospital, we can get there.
And landlord is Steve, that.
Well, the 31st. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just,
6
10 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Looks like actually first.
So that's also so. And you see.
I was watching the video.
Okay, all in favor?
Bye.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.